I was introduced, I got a call from Santa Fe from a friend who asked me what I knew about stem cells. And I said, all I know is that my friend of mine's thinking of having an injection in his knee, and that's literally all I know. But then between her and Peter talking, I knew I wanted to order them, but I was so weak from being really sick with the big virus in the spring of 2020 that I said, I have to go. You need to call me tomorrow night. That's how weak I was. When I put my first patch on, so the day I ordered was the day that we got the 20-year patent for X39, by the way. That
Wow.
was, yeah. And then I put my first patch on May 18th of 2020. And again, I'd been really sick for 8 weeks, very weak. I was getting weaker actually, and getting more fatigued. There's a lot of noise, huh? So when I put the first patch on, it felt like lights were going off in my brain. Like I felt more clear, more perky. And I had not felt perky for a good 8 weeks. And I also felt in the next few, well, I've been really sick, but to go back further, actually, I'll tell you a little bit more. I had a 2-story fall when I was 12 years old. We had a house fire and my father saved my life. He had to throw me out and then he dove out head first and we landed on cement. And amazingly, I wasn't hurt worse, but I had burns and smoke inhalation, but my knees were swollen and they've been swollen pretty much since then. And I mean, I was able to be active sometimes and not sometimes. So I've lost my ability to walk many, many times. So I've lost my ability to walk many times. And then I was starting to learn American Sign Language and interpret between hearing and deaf people. And as I was starting to do that as a career, I discovered the Feldenkrais method because from Israel, a physicist taught us how we could learn to move with more efficiency and grace and less pain. So I began to study that as a way to have a new profession. So I interpreted sign language for 10 years as I was studying, become a Feldenkrais teacher, and that kept me on my feet. I would be in a wheelchair if I didn't do that work. But then I'm seeing in the chat, Suzanne, that it's coming from your end. That the noise is coming from someone's in the chat is saying other people are hearing it. I'm so, oh my goodness. So anyway, okay. I've lost my ability to walk. I was in a very bad accident in 1995 where I broke my pelvis and dislocated a hip and had some other broken bones and a head injury. So all of these things were adding up. And then I had a bruised brainstem in 2017, in May of 2017. When I put the first patch on, it was exactly 5 years from that bruised brainstem injury. So I had 8 weeks of something beyond brain fog with that virus, on top of 5 years of, no, I'm sorry, it was 3 years at that point. It was 3 years of the brainstem injury. And so for that one patch, X39, to improve my brain so much, so quickly in the first 10 minutes. I mean, I'm still healing. The healing is ongoing, but the fact that I could think better and that I could feel lighter, and I know that I'm overall in the almost 3 years that I've been using the patch, I'm much more uplifted. I'm much happier than I was able to be, especially since that brainstem injury. And I have some other things written down. So I had a bone spur in my right heel, and that required, well, it caused a lot of pain, a lot of limping. A lot of times I could not walk around the house without shoes. I had plantar fasciitis also, but that bone spur, when they took an x-ray, it looked like a hook, in the bottom of my foot. That bone spur is completely gone. And I had to have painful cortisone injections in my foot to be able to walk. So it's really nice to not need those anymore. And I had lung pain for 16 months before I put the first patch on. And that was we're not exactly sure why. Again, I did have smoke inhalation as a 12-year-old, but I had really strong lung pain. I lost my ability to breathe for about 5 minutes, and that created lung pain. And then the lung pain got much worse. And I noticed within the first 2 days of wearing the patch that lung pain was gone. I don't know exactly when it left, but it left and it never has come back. And I used to have a lot of rapid heartbeats and kind of odd rhythm of beats, and that doesn't happen anymore. And my vision I went to the retina doctor because they wanted to see me, insisted on seeing me every 6 months because my retina was worsening in my right eye. And the last time I went to the retina doctor, she said, you don't need to come and see me in 6 months. Your retina is improving. I said, do you think it's the stem cells? And she said, nah, she just kind of shrugged her shoulders and wasn't impressed. But then I went to my eye doctor about a month or two later, and I said, you don't need to dilate me because I have a retina specialist. I said, but my retina improved. What do you think? Do you think it could be the stem cells? And she said, well, let me check your eyes. And so she did my eye test, and she said, Victoria, we couldn't get your eyes to 20/20. But today I can get you, with just a little bit of correction, I can get you to 20/20. She said, that's definitely the stem cell activation. And then she said, and the retina improving? She said, retinas never improve. She said, that's definitely the stem cell activation as well. So that was a really wonderful confirmation. And because I hope that I don't ever need that surgery, because it's not an easy surgery. And I used to have daily back pain and daily neck pain. And I haven't had that since I started to use the X39. Which is a very big difference in my life. I don't have the same level of inflammation that I used to have.
Where did you put the patches? Did you change them out in the position?
I've worn the patch at the back of my neck on that C7 T1 area since I got the X39. Really, it'll be 3 years in May. I do occasionally put an extra one on my knee, or one knee or the other. But pretty much that's where I've worn them. Yeah. And I did forget to say that I took my first far infrared sauna in 1995. And then I began to I was really interested in far infrared and the technology and what I'd never heard of it until 1995. And then I began to sell far infrared saunas. So I'm very interested in how we have far infrared lights in our bodies, and when we touch our own hand, that heat is a far infrared. And so it's this technology is amazing.